NFL Week 5 kicks off tomorrow with Dolphins, Carolina. Miami looking to get to 2-3 on the year, second straight win. We're going to answer the latest questions around the Dolphins on today's show. I am Nic Rohloff. First one coming in from my guy, Bren FN. Remember, if you missed our mailbag, make sure you join our Thursday live shows. But he asked, do I think Tua will be on the Dolphins in 2 years? I say absolutely not. Here's why. I don't think Tua is the QB of the future for Miami. I just don't. I think we have seen enough in terms of his limitations. And when they ultimately move on from Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier, the new head coach and GM regime will want to pick their own quarterback to move forward with, not inherit Tua. In Tua's contract, the way it is structured, he is basically stuck in Miami unless a team traded for him until after the 2026 season. There is an out between the 26 season and the 27 season. So in the 2027 offseason, you want to say, to where you can cut him, trade him, waive him, and not have a massive dead cap penalty. So when you say 2 years, that is a perfect number because to me, Tua will be here next season no matter what. Whoever's coaching, GM, doesn't matter. Because of the contract, he'll be here next year. But he will not be here after the 2026 season. That is my prediction. Make sure you are subscribed and follow us for our watch party coverage. We're live for every Dolphins game. We'll be live at noon Eastern time, 11 a Central time for Dolphins-Panthers Week 5 action. If you see this thumbnail, that means we are live. Subscribe and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun to see if the Dolphins can pick up a second straight win. Brother, do you think Storm Duck will be a starter when coming back from injury? I actually do not, BR. Duck obviously trying to work his way back from an ankle injury. He's been out since week 2. Dolphins did not place him on IR. His status for Sunday, at least as of filming this on Thursday, is very much in air and likely probably is going to be him being out in this game because he was a DNP on Wednesday and Thursday in practice. But Rasul Douglas has been phenomenal for the Miami Dolphins. He's actually the 6th highest graded cornerback on Pro Football Focus this season. Like, is he an elite corner? No, but he has been above average. He played extremely well against the Patriots, extremely well against the Bills, and he shut down Garrett Wilson for most of the night on Monday Night Football in Week 4. I still don't think that Garrett Wilson touchdown should have counted. I don't think his foot got in, but if you take away that, he is not allowed a touchdown or really any yardage. So Storm Duck ain't replacing him. And I don't really think he's going to replace Jack Jones either because Jack Jones has played really well over the last 6 quarters. Played good against the Jets, and he was the best defensive player Miami had in that second half against Buffalo where they did pile up a couple stops on back-to-back possessions. So I don't really see a world where Storm Duck comes back and starts. I would rather keep rolling with Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas because somehow, some way, the defensive corner duo that I just talked about is actually maybe the strong point of this Dolphins defense. Yeah, I know. Arson with a question. With Tyreek Hill out for the season, do you think the Dolphins should run a 2 tight end offense? I do definitely think we'll see more 2 tight end sets. I've said it pretty much ever since Monday's game that Darren Waller is going to be probably the largest beneficiary of this Tyreek Hill injury because he is just going to be absolutely used in one of Tua's favorite targets in money down situations. Red zone, third down. I mean, we already saw it in week 4 when he made his debut for the Miami Dolphins. 3rd and 5, first third down of the game. Darren Waller, 14-yard first down. 4th and goal. Lobs it up to Waller, high point touchdown. Then in the red zone again, bootleg Darren Waller in the flat or a little 8 yards downfield, touchdown. So it's clear Tua already has a comfortability with Darren Waller. So I believe that it makes a lot of sense for Waller to get a lot of play. You know Julian Hill is going to be on the field because of his blocking ability. We'll see, man, but I definitely think they'll go to 2 tight end sets a little bit more. I think you'll see a lot more Nick Westbrook-Keeney, Malik Washington. You might even see some more 2 RB sets with Ollie Gordon, Devon Achane. Maybe 3 RB sets, technically. Gordon, Achane, and Alec Ingold. That's certainly a possibility as well. Who you got? Carolina Panthers or Miami Dolphins? Type CAR for the Panthers. Type MIA for the Dolphins. who gets the win in Week 5. I've given my score prediction. I think it's a 23-16 win for the Miami Dolphins. Ketch says, do you think Juju Brents will have any impact to our cornerback room? Listen, when the Dolphins claimed him off of the waivers when he was waived by the Colts on cutdown day, I was intrigued by Brents because he's got great size. He plays physical. He actually had a solid first year and a half with the Colts before injuries really just plagued his career. But my thing is, I don't think he gets into the lineup unless an injury occurs to Rasul Douglas or Jack Jones. But then the question would have to be asked, Catch, would the Dolphins feel more comfortable putting Storm Duck back into the lineup if an injury occurred to your starting corners right now? Or would they go with the young Juju Brents? Like, I am curious. I'd love to see what we have in Juju. But if I'm going to predict it and answer your question, it's more likely we won't see Juju Brents on the field once this year than he ultimately makes a massive impact to this cornerback room. Kenny says, do you think we call up Theo Wease Jr.? Wease Jr., excuse me. Got baited by what you said there. I've been hearing good things about him. Yeah, listen, Kenny, Theo Wease Jr. was awesome in the preseason. 10 catches, 104 yards, pair of touchdowns. Now, all of that work for Wease Jr. was with the third string offense and his chemistry and rapport with Quinn Ewers. Obviously, he wouldn't be working with Quinn Ewers at the NFL level, but I don't think we call him up just yet. If they wanted to call him up, they probably would not have signed Cedric Wilson Jr. off of the Saints practice squad to their active roster, and they would have just called him up from there and placed Tyreek Hill on IR. So I don't feel like that is an imminent decision here for Miami, but I'm hoping that we have him stick around for a while because I think he's got a lot of promise. We've seen Jalen Waddle mention Theo Wease Jr. over the last month, and we've seen Tua do it as well. So there's clearly fans of Theo Wease Jr. inside the locker room and on the coaching staff and inside the front office. So it's a player to keep your eye on, but I don't think he gets called up anytime soon. Tyson Bryant, would you be down for trading for Chris Olave as well as Riq Woolen if we have a winning record or turning things around? Riq Woolen, I said on a video a couple days ago, or did I put it out today? I don't remember. Oh, I put it out this morning, actually. So if you watch Saturday morning's video, that's when it went out. I'm filming this on Thursday, doing mental gymnastics, folks. But, I mean, yeah, I was all in on trading for Riq Woolen. I said I would trade for him even if the Dolphins didn't win a game until the deadline. Dolphins lose 5 straight games before a deadline and are 1-8. I swear to God, I would still trade for him because we need to build up this cornerback room for the future. Woolen, 26 years old, 6'4", 210, ran a 4.26 40, has been really good in his career, especially his first couple of seasons with Seattle. Last couple of years in that new defensive scheme, not so much. And listen, you're going to go sign a cornerback in all likelihood this offseason because pretty much you have nobody on their roster coming back next year. The only player in your secondary that will be here next season, as of right now, is Jason Marshall Jr. Kohu's a free agent. Jack Jones is. Douglas is. Bonner is. Brents is. You have one corner on your roster under contract for next season. So you're going to sign a lot of corners. You're going to draft a lot of corners. Why not get a head start on that by trading for Riq Woolen if he is available on the trade market? But when it comes to the Chris Olave trade question, I don't think I would be in on trading for Olave. 1, I don't want to deal with the contract. 2, he is so consistently hurt, and I fear he is not the Olave we know anymore. Like the same reason why we've had these conversations with Tua. Unfortunately, you pile up a lot of concussions in your career, you're not going to play the same way. Chris Olave has arguably had more concussions. I think he might have had more concussions in volume than Tua. Tua's may have been more severe, but Olave's been concussed like 3 or 4 times in his career. And he is no longer that elite, deep threat wide receiver that we have seen in New Orleans for most of his career. He's a high-volume, short-yardage wide receiver at this point. He's getting out-targeted and out-snapped by their tight end, Juwan Johnson in New Orleans. So if there was a cheap trade, sure, maybe I'd think about it. But with that contract and his non-explosive play style anymore, I'm passing on a Chris Olave trade. I like what the Dolphins have at wide receiver depth, and I would just address wide receiver 2 in the draft, maybe with a 3rd-round pick going forward. Make sure you are subscribed. We are the most interactive Dolphins community on YouTube. We're doing mailbags like this. We also put up 2 videos a day, go live 3 times a week. If you want to be a part of the best Dolphins community on YouTube, this is the channel for you. Subscribe today. Mr. Butt Flakes with a, honestly, very eerie looking picture there. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. Pick one player on offense and defense that needs to step up rest of the season. I think offense is the easiest one to answer. It's Jonah Savinaya. I mean, he's just been absolutely horrific. I mean, your second-round pick out of Arizona, traded up to get him, 37th spot, has been the worst-graded offensive guard in all of the NFL. He has been, honestly, an embarrassment in pass-blocking situations. It's been a joke. It's been horrible. So it's like, you need him to show you something that makes you feel confident about his development going forward. So clearly it's Jonah Savinaya. And on defense, there's just so many answers. I would have guessed I would have had to say a secondary player coming into the year if you asked me that in October. But I think I'm going to go with Chop Robinson. I mean, he really hasn't done anything for this Dolphins football team. Now, he has been on the field for only about 105 snaps. Bradley Chubb's been on the field 60 more times than him, 165. So maybe more opportunity comes better results. But we were counting on Chop Robinson being a top 5, maybe not top 5, but say top 15 pass rusher in football this season because he was the top 5 pass rusher in football in the last 10 weeks of last season. So the fact that Chop has really not taken any step up and has actually declined from his end-of-season performance a year ago is super concerning. So I say Jonah on the offense, Chop Robinson on defense. More questions to be answered here, but grab the Dolphins Rivalry collection right now at chatsports.com/Dolphins Rivalry, whether it's a jersey, whether it's a hat, a sweatshirt, a polo, any type of gear you want in that new Dolphins Rivalry kind of flow and color palette. That is the way I wanted to say that. Get it right now at chatsports.com/Dolphins Rivalry. Links in the description and comments of today's video. M. Miller, do you think the Dolphins should trade for T. Higgins from Cincinnati? Very similar to the Chris Olave stuff, no. Now, I will say T. Higgins, I think, is better than Chris Olave. And T. Higgins does have injury concerns like Olave, but Higgins is more or less like hamstring injuries instead of the concussion and head injuries that really make you scared with Olave. But he is also really expensive. He signed a new contract this year. What does he make? $28, $29, $30 million a year? Might be more than that. So the Dolphins doesn't really make sense to trade for a wide receiver that's making that much money. I would rather invest that $30 million on cornerbacks, linemen, offensively and defensively. So I don't really think it's worth it to trade for a wide receiver because I like Waddle, I like Washington, I like Wes Burkini in the short term. Like I said, if you want to address wide receiver long term after the Tyreek Hill injury, I think it's better off doing it in the draft than getting one on a rookie contract rather than trading for an expensive one. So you have to give that big money and you could use the other money on the other positions I mentioned. Twixie, do you think Tua bounces back and can lead for the rest of the season? He's going to have to, man. Like, I think his job is already kind of signed, sealed, and delivered out the door. But like, if he doesn't show that he is going to be a leader at the podium, in the locker room, and on the field, then that just makes it even more clear that you got to get rid of him. So, I don't know, man. Like, do I think he bounces back? It's going to be more difficult. He's going to have to certainly play better with no Tyreek Hill in the lineup. But I hope so. I mean, I answer no, though, if I'm going to be honest. Like, the Tua we've seen through the first 4 weeks of the season is the Tua I think we see the rest of the year. Like, I don't think we're really going to see an improved Tua. I don't think we're going to see a worse Tua. And we're just going to see the Tua we've had for the first month for the rest of the year. That'll do it for today's mailbag. If you didn't get on it, well, make sure you subscribe and join us for our Thursday live shows. And also make sure you subscribe and join us for our Week 5 Dolphins-Panthers watch party tomorrow. Going to be a ton of fun with live play-by-play, commentary, analysis, taking down some drinks. We'll be partying, hopefully watching the Dolphins get a second straight win.